I still remember the exact words. "You'll never hear my voice again, Ethan." My wife, Olivia, sounded cold, almost rehearsed. "If you have anything to say, talk to my lawyer." The line went dead. After 12 years of marriage, that was it. No explanation, no goodbye, just a divorce. What I didn't know was that 1 hour later, her own lawyer would look at me like he'd seen a ghost. "My name is Ethan Brooks. I'm 38 years old, and I own a custom home renovation company in Charlotte, North Carolina. For 12 years, I believed I had a happy marriage." Olivia worked as a pharmaceutical sales representative. She traveled often, late meetings, conferences, client dinners. I trusted her maybe too much. About 6 months before that phone call, things started changing. She became protective of her phone. She stopped wearing her wedding ring during work trips. She smiled at messages she never let me see. Whenever I asked if everything was okay, she'd laugh. "You're imagining things." I wanted to believe her, because believing the truth would have destroyed me. Then one Friday evening, I came home early. Her suitcase was by the door. She was dressed beautifully. "Business dinner?" I asked. She didn't even look guilty. "No." She zipped the suitcase. "I'm spending the weekend with someone who actually appreciates me." My heart stopped. She looked directly into my eyes. "I'm in love with someone else." Then she walked out. No apology, no tears, just silence. I stood in that empty house wondering how 12 years could disappear in 30 seconds. But that wasn't even the worst part. 3 days later she called. "I've already filed." Her voice was emotionless. "You'll be hearing from my attorney." "I'd rather hear from my wife." "You don't have one anymore." Click. I stared at my phone for several minutes. Then I received an email. "A law office downtown. Appointments scheduled. Tuesday 10 a.m. I almost didn't go. But I needed answers even if they hurt. Little did I know, the lawyer needed answers too. Tuesday morning, I walked into an expensive office overlooking downtown Charlotte. Everything looked polished, mahogany furniture, framed diplomas, expensive artwork. The receptionist smiled politely. "Name? Ethan Brooks." She typed something, then frowned. One moment, she disappeared. A minute later, an older man walked into the lobby. Gray hair, perfect suit, confident posture. "I'm Richard Lawson." He extended his hand. "I'll be representing Mrs. Brooks." I nodded. We entered his office. He opened a folder without looking at me. "So, you're here, regarding the dissolution of." He finally looked up. Our eyes met. His face instantly lost color. "What?" He blinked twice. "I'm sorry." His voice cracked. "You said your name is Ethan Brooks?" "Yes." "You're Olivia's husband?" "Yes." His hands began shaking, actual trembling. He slowly closed the file. "Oh my God." I frowned. "What is it?" Instead of answering, he reached for a glass of water. For nearly a minute he said nothing. Then he whispered something that changed everything. "Mr. Brooks, I don't think your wife knows who you are." I laughed bitterly. "I think she does." He shook his head. "No, I mean legally." Now I was confused. "What are you talking about?" He turned the folder toward me. On top was Olivia's divorce petition. But under occupation of husband it said, "Construction supervisor. Annual income, $86,000. I frowned. "That's not right. I own my company." Richard stared. "Own?" "Yes. Brooks Heritage Restoration." He looked like someone had punched him. He hurried to his computer, typed rapidly, then stopped. Oh no." He slowly turned the monitor toward me. My company profile filled the screen. Over 70 employees. Commercial projects, historic restorations, estimated company valuation, $38 million. Richard leaned back. "Your wife never disclosed any of this." I stayed quiet. He continued. "She specifically instructed me that you were a middle management employee." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Then something hit me. She wasn't hiding me. She genuinely didn't know. For years, I'd intentionally kept my business private. When we first married, my father gave me one piece of advice: never let money become someone's reason for loving you. So I paid myself a modest salary. Everything else stayed invested in the company. Olivia never asked questions, until someone richer came along. Apparently, she assumed she'd upgraded. Richard removed his glasses. "I need to ask you something." "Go ahead." "Does your wife know your family's trust owns most of this company?" I smiled sadly. "No." His eyes widened. "The trust alone is worth." He stopped himself, then sighed. "I understand now." I leaned forward. "Understand what?" He hesitated. "Mr. Brooks, I believe your wife is leaving you because she thinks she's marrying someone wealthier." I almost laughed because it sounded ridiculous. Until he continued. "Her fiancé listed himself as a venture capitalist. His financial statements looked impressive. But..." Richard tapped the papers. "I've handled enough divorces. Something about him didn't feel right." The room suddenly felt smaller. Richard excused himself for 5 minutes. When he returned, he carried another folder. "This is confidential." He paused. "But ethically, I cannot knowingly participate in fraud." He slid the folder across the desk. Inside were financial disclosures from Olivia's new boyfriend, except half the documents were fake. Fake investment accounts, fake business ownership, loans disguised as assets. Richard sighed. I verified them this morning. The man she's leaving you for is drowning in debt. I stared silently. He continued. I think he targeted your wife, not realizing she'd married someone actually wealthy. The irony was unbelievable. She cheated on me for someone pretending to be successful. 2 months later, the divorce hearing finally arrived. Olivia walked into court holding her boyfriend's hand. She looked confident, until her attorney approached. Quickly, he whispered something into her ear. She froze. Then she looked at me for the first time in weeks, not with anger, with confusion. After the hearing, she cornered me outside. Is it true? I looked at her calmly. What? She swallowed hard. You own Brooks Heritage? Yes, you never told me. You never asked. Her face collapsed, then she whispered. Jason lied to me. I looked at the man standing 20 feet away. Federal agents were placing him in handcuffs. Apparently, his fake investment firm had been under investigation for months. Olivia covered her mouth. Everything she'd risked, everything she'd destroyed, had been built on lies. 6 months later, the divorce was finalized, peacefully. I kept the house. She kept what she'd brought into the marriage. No dramatic courtroom battle, no revenge, just consequences. I heard later she moved back in with her parents, started over. As for me, I learned something priceless. Love doesn't fail because someone has less money. It fails when someone values appearances more than loyalty. One rainy afternoon, I visited my father's grave. I placed fresh flowers beside the headstone, then smiled. You were right, Dad. The wrong person always reveals themselves. Sometimes, the greatest heartbreak isn't losing someone, it's discovering they were never truly yours. And strangely enough, that's also the beginning of freedom. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below.